So in this video, I just want to give a little informational session on what I use for purge diffusers. So if you're familiar with welding stainless or high percentage chrome, you know you got to purge it. Now my problem is I'm usually left with the end of a purge hose like this, and sometimes you cut it off, throw it in your pipe, and crank your purge on. Now, this works for small diameter pipes, but once you get into bigger pipes, I'm usually throwing 2 or 3 more hoses in there, and then I got to really crank the purge up, especially right now since I'm doing Super Duplex. Purge is very crucial. So when you crank your purge, sometimes you'll get a lot of turbulence, and then you'll start mixing argon with your air, and it takes a while for that to for the air to actually disperse and leave, get out of your joint. So what I scoured the internet for a while, finally found a Reddit post where someone actually talked about these little silencers. They're just for they're a pneumatic silencer, and these work great for purging. And they're very cheap to buy. So you can get those in a 5-pack for, I don't know, cheap. And then what you want to do is buy yourself one of these, the Barb fitting, 1/4-inch Barb. Then you can get a cheap purge diffuser. What I found is a lot of people at work end up using just a diffuser on for TIG assembly. But the problem is you have a through hole there. So yeah, you might be diffusing through here, but that center is going to be at a higher velocity of argon and can then again cause that turbulence. So it's almost ineffective, I believe. So I don't like using those. So after finding these, I found out there's a few ways that you can actually attach them to your hose. This is just a cut-off piece. Now, first thing I found, which is relatively easy idea, is this actually fits in here pretty snug. That'll fit inside this 3/8 National Pipe Thread diffuser. So if you see that, it fits in there quite well. So that's one thing you can do, but the only thing I don't like about that is, say you get caught up when you're trying to pull your hoses out and your purge dam, and that pulls off, that's left in your pipe. For most places that can be a really bad thing. So the other thing, so I bought these. I believe this is 1/4-inch Barb to 3/8 pipe thread. I know this is 3/8 pipe thread. Now you can get these in 1/2-inch pipe thread or whatever. So I really like these. And then of course that Barb just fits inside your hose. The only problem is these are really hard to get off if you want to take these to your next job or whatever, or you want to take them off at the end of the day so no one steals them. These don't come off that great. So which leads me to another option is your union. This is so you can attach extra lengths of purge hose. The only problem is I believe these are straight thread. I'm not really sure, but they're different thread than your pipe thread. So take one end and then take your 3/8 by 18 pipe thread and tap one end. And then what that will give you is the ability to thread that in there. It only goes in a few threads, just because this taper thread there, it bottoms out when you're tapping. And then you can put this on the end of your hose, and then you don't have to ruin a hose by cutting it. You still have this end, and then you can take this off at the end of the day if you want to prevent people from snagging it, and keep that. So there's a few options there. This is what I'm currently using just because I already had my hoses cut, but I do almost like this method better. So there's that. Tap one end, and then there's that one. Cut your end, shove the barb end in, and you're good to go. And I have found that these do work really good. I can crank my flow meter rate up to max with a couple of hoses in there from doing big diameter pipe. Purge the hell out of it. Now I have seen, I was looking at alternatives. There's actually companies that make Purge diffusers for your Purge hoses, but they're like wildly expensive. They're like $400 and more. So these do the exact same thing. They don't restrict your flow either. I'm able to crank mine to the max, and you get a nice gradual purge with it without causing turbulence and all that bad stuff. So these are a great little alternative. Check it out. Let me know if they work for you. What do you use for Purge diffusers? And yeah, I'm open to opinions, options, and this was just the first thing I found that I thought was a great idea, and I've been using it, and I'm all about saving money. So give it a shot. Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.